We're going to start in a comfortable seat. So find a seat on your yoga mat. I'm going to sit cross-legged. You could sit in a different way though if you choose. Take a moment this morning just to close your eyes to start. Bring yourself in touch with and great awareness to your breath. Breathe fully on every inhale. Completely exhale. Let all of the air go. And then just begin that cycle again. Deep inhale, complete exhale. Nod the chin down to your chest, and then just start to rock the head from side to side. Go slower than you first think to. So whatever the first pace was, slow it down a little bit. Leave the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Walk the left hand out to the side and just pause for a second. Release, release, release. Take both hands back to the legs, chin to chest, left ear to the left shoulder. Walk the right hand out. And then bring the hand back to the leg, chin down to the chest. Both hands behind the head. Give that little push of the head up into the hands. Feel the light stretch from the top of the spine leading all the way down to your tailbone. Pull belly button in towards the spine to find the strengthening along the front side as well. Release the hands, lift the head, open the eyes. Take a big stretch up to the sky, both arms overhead. Twist in one direction, hands down on either side. And inhale, bring the arms back up to the sky. Exhale, twist in the second way. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Bring the palms down in front of the chest. Give yourself thanks for the movement, the ability to move and be here for this practice. And then we'll change to all fours. Come on over to all fours. As you do that, set the hands under your shoulders and the knees under your hips. And then do several rounds of cat and cow. Let the spine just move up and down, back and forth here. Pull the chest through, eyes and tailbone up as you drop the belly on the inhale. And then round the back for exhale for cat pose. Drop the head, push down through the hands and knees. Just back and forth like that. All little bits of nourishing movement that we know is good for our bodies, that we're pretty familiar with and coming to class with me. And then today I want to go right into a twisted child's pose. Take the right arm under the left and set your shoulder, ear, side of the face down to the floor and reach the left arm out in front of you. Try to square off the hips. A lot of times the weight will lean left here, and so you pull a little bit more back on the right side. I can feel that not only in the hips, but deeper stretch in the shoulder as that happens. And then bring the left hand back beside your face and use it to help you come back up to all fours. And take it to the other side. Slip the left arm under the right. Lay the head, shoulder, ear down to the mat. And again here, kind of pull the hips back towards the left as you stretch your right arm out in front. Just take in a couple of breaths. And then build yourself back up to all fours. Okay, let's stretch to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. And then in down dog, simple pedal through the feet. Shake the head. Maybe even let the heels fall all the way to one side and then the other, so you're getting a little twist through the spine, through the legs, through the hips. Whatever feels nice there. Step your right foot up in between the hands for low lunge. Have the hands on either side, knee over the ankle, fingertips in line with our toes. Lift the hips high enough that you can make your back leg straight, nice and firm there. And then reach the right arm up to the sky, twist in the upper body. And today, place the right hand back down and step right on back to down dog. On an inhale, come forward to plank pose. And then on your exhale, lower down to the mat. Reach your hands back behind you. Turn the palms to face up and lift everything off of the mat. Up, up, up. Lower it down. Find down dog again. Push up and back. And then second side, step the left foot through. Keep stepping until you have that full length of your lunge. And add the twist, left arm up to the sky. Good. Lower the hand down, step back to dog. And inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower flat down. Stretch the arms back. Keep them open, or more challenging, interlace the hands behind the back now and lift everything up. Lower it down. Press back to child's pose. So hips back to the heels. Reach the arms out long in front. Stay here for a moment. And then create a pillow for your forehead with your hands. So bend the elbows, take the hands in right underneath the forehead. And just rock the head from side to side so that your forehead is massaging across the hands, back and forth, from one temple over towards the other. Keep going. That little bit of movement there can help to reset, settle the nervous system. Can be a good thing to do throughout a work day because it's accessible. Just set your hands down on a desk, set the head down, rock back and forth. All right, and then gradually build yourself to sit upright, back on your heels. Bring the knees all the way together. Lift both arms up to the sky. As you do that, interlace the hands and flip the palms. Push through your thumb and your first finger a lot. A nice lift and opening of the chest, but try to pull your navel still back towards the spine. So you knit the lower ribs down. From there, release the hands, tuck your toes, and then from the back of the mat, lift up into a forward fold. Keep a little bend in your knees so that it's easy to take all 10 fingers to the ground. Kind of pedal the feet a little bit back and forth here. Slowly roll up to standing. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. And also forward and down. Inhale, lift both arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands out and forward to downward facing dog. And then move the shoulders forward over the back of the wrist for plank pose. Lower down to the mat. Cobra, push down through the hands and feet. Peel your chest up. Lower down, stay right here. Take Cobra wider, so fingertips off of your mat with the elbows pointed up to the sky. And then inhale and lift up again. Pretty strong in the legs. Lower it down. Do that one more time. Press down through the fingertips. Elbows stay lifted. Lift the chest. And lower it down. Change back to downward facing dog. And then lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Pull the knee into the chest, hover forward into plank. We'll do this 3 times. Leg up and back, three-legged dog. This time bring the right knee to the right elbow. Lift up and back. And now across the body, so right knee to the left elbow, a little twist underneath there, and up and back. Step the right foot all the way through into your low lunge. Keep the back heel lifted, hips square, and come up to high lunge. Lift the torso and lift your arms up to the sky. Look over to the right side, twist. Take your left arm forward and your right arm back. And then both arms back up, untwist. Set the hands down on the inside of your right foot. Spin the back heel down. So now you have 2 flat feet against your yoga mat. Okay, walk the hands out for down dog lunge. Keep the right knee, the front knee pointed over the middle of the foot. Equal weight in both feet here. And then change to side angle. So walk the hands in. I'm going to come up elbow to knee. Look at the back leg. As you do that, the rotation in the hips, pelvis changes a little bit, more open to the side. Lift the left arm up to the sky. You can stop there or take the left arm further overhead towards the front of the mat. Come up to Warrior 2 for just a breath. Lift the torso, extend the arms in either direction. And then fold the hands down, kind of cartwheel around that front leg. Step the left foot forward, front of the mat now. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach both arms to the sky. Exhale, palms together, center the chest. Okay, inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. That same 3 rounds of cobra. So first regular cobra, hands right under the chest, lift. And then exhale, lower down. Take the hands wider than the mat on the fingertips, elbows up. Inhale and lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale and lift. Exhale, lower down. Make your way to downward facing dog. And lift your left leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Pull the knee into the center, hover forward, and then up and back. Pull the knee out to the left, and then up and back. Left knee to the right side, so a little twist underneath, up and back. Step it all the way through to your low lunge. Make sure you get it there, and then come up to high lunge. So look to your left and twist. The left arm goes back, right arm goes forward. Good. Both arms back up to the sky. Lower the hands to the inside of your foot. Spin the back foot down, back heel down. Down dog lunge, walk the hands out. Again, watching that front knee, make sure it broadens as wide as the center of the foot. I have a tendency to want to roll the weight away from the big toe. Today, make sure you've got left big toe down flat against your mat. Okay, and then walk the hands in. Again, prop the left elbow up to the knee, the right hand to the waist. And then by simply looking back at the right side, can you rotate and open through the back hip a little bit? Chest, torso, lift the right arm up to the sky. Keep it there. Or stretch the right arm all the way towards the front of the mat. And again, look down at your front foot. Lower the hands to either side and step forward, front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Take a couple of breaths here, just kind of set in. Notice how the body's feeling. Notice how your breath is moving. Perhaps the intention for this practice, how it's playing out. My intention in this week is to make sure that the practice feeds me, leads me, of course, with less tension, less stress. Let it go a little bit, if at all possible. Don't do anything to heighten the nervous system. Let it be. Okay, stretch those arms back up to the sky. This time chair pose, bend the knees, sit into the thighs. Let the tailbone stick out and kind of press back, back, back so you get a little lower into the legs. Then bring the palms together in prayer hands and add a twist here. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. With that happening, keep the right leg as it is. And can you step the left foot back? I take little steps so that I can keep the balance until you're in a full lunge with the twist. It doesn't have to be just one step back. Give yourself the time. Okay. Untwist, high lunge, lift the arms up to the sky. Okay, now, just like you stepped back, little steps, or maybe you took just one big step. Same thing, left foot forward. So I'm gonna inch it in here until I'm back to chair pose. Now, right foot still down, wrap the left leg on top for eagle. The left arm under the right, cross at the elbows. You can hold on to your shoulders or to the back or front of the hands. Try to still sit into the legs. And then unwrap the legs. Keep the arms, stand tall, so you're in mountain pose with eagle arms. Lean a little bit to your right side so you get just this little lift and stretch on the side of the body. Go back to the center and lean to the second side. And then go back to the center. Unwrap your arms, lift up. Those steps on the second side. So we start again in chair pose. And I'm trying to get really low in the legs here. That can be faced towards the back end of your yoga mat. Because you know you've got that twist first. So we need a deeper sit. Then palms together. And add the twist. It's right elbow towards the left. If it can, hook it all the way against the leg. Gives you a little push and pull there. I'm looking down so it's easier on balance here. And then step, step, step the right foot back until you're in your full stride. I used to always say step back, one step. And I notice the tension that fills, the sort of stress that comes in trying to find the balance in just one step. Think, what's it worth? Not that much. Untwist. Lift the arms up. And again, it doesn't have to be just one step. Take the back foot forward. Back to your chair. Cross the right leg over the left for eagle legs. Now, cross as high as you can in the thighs, but the lifted leg can stay out to the side. That's easier. Or squeeze in. To add the arms, it's right arm under the left if you haven't already. That first chair sit, we were low in the legs. The legs are still in chair here. It's just an extra wrap, but we're probably higher up so that you can gain the strength, the confidence of the lift in the torso and the belly. Okay, unwrap the legs, keep the arms, stand tall. Lean to the left first. Lean back to the center. Lean to the right. Back to the center. Unwrap the arms, lift both arms up to the sky as you do so. Exhale, forward fold, touch back down to the floor. Good. Inhale, half lift. Keep the right foot forward, step the left foot back into your low lunge. Now we've got that full stride. Can you come in, back foot halfway forward? Hop it in halfway forward so that it's easier to put all the weight on the front foot, fingertips to the ground. Lift the left leg up, up, up as high as you can, like standing split. And then lower the left leg down until it's just in line with the hip. So if your leg was higher than the hip, now bring it down. Keep your left hand on the floor and lift the right hand up. So it's a twisted variation of half moon here. Back into that twist. Lower the right hand down, come all the way back into your full low lunge. Hands go down, foot goes down. And once more, like in the very beginning, lift your right hand up. It might be easier to see here how that pose, this pose, relates to the one that just came right before it. Okay, both hands down, step back to plank. Chaturanga Dandasana is that little hover, 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 and then drop it all the way down. Lift the chest for Cobra. So in Cobra, hands down, feet down, and the top of the thighs and pelvis are also down on the ground. Exhale, lower. Press back to child's pose for a moment. Give it a pause. Downward facing dog. Let's step the left foot through, low lunge. And again, hop the back foot halfway forward so it's easier to get the weight into the left leg. I'm keeping the left knee bent. It doesn't have to go straight by any means. And try your standing split, even just a couple of breaths. Lift the right leg as high as you can. Up, 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 even if the hips open to the side. Lift, lift, lift. Again, standing leg can be bent to give you a little more freedom through the hamstrings. And then bring the right leg down to about an L shape, about in line with the hip. Try to square off the hips. Imagine that you're in that low lunge, just lifting the left hand up for your twist. Do it here. Right hand stays down, left arm up. Turn the belly. You could even keep that left hand there and slowly release the right leg down to the mat, and then it's pretty easy to see how those two things go together. Lower the right hand down, step back to plank. Lower flat down against the yoga mat. Cobra, peel the chest up. Maybe a little higher back bend this time. Thighs still on the floor, but most of my pelvis now up off of the mat. And press it back to child's pose. Again, just a few easy breaths there in child's pose. Okay, have a seat. Sit down on your mat, extend your legs out in front of you. And then change to the soles of the feet. I even lift the heels up, so it's just my toes on the floor. Ready for boat pose here, Navasana. Shift the hands under the crease of the knees. Try to stay tall in the torso. Rock back just enough that you can lift your feet off the ground. Lift the feet as high as your knees. Still holding onto the legs. Try taking the legs straight. Keep holding on or try arms out to the side. Do the thing that you can maintain without feeling tension creep into the body. Not overdoing it today. And then release the legs all the way down. Lie down onto your back. Sit on your hands for a little extra support. And then take the knees into your chest and straighten the legs straight up to the sky. Okay, glue the inner edges of your feet together. Leg raises, just meaning lift and lower the legs in a straight line. Lower the legs until they're maybe a foot off of the ground, and then go back up. Keep the hands underneath your seat for the most support, or you can slide them out and take them behind your head, more challenge there. Even lift the head and shoulders off of the mat. But I want you really mindfully to make sure this isn't overdoing it. Nice and slow, lower and lift the legs. Think mid to low back, always pressing in towards the mat, down towards the mat. Just one more round. And then pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug, rock from side to side. Nice. Set the soles of the feet down to the mat. Reach your hands to try to brush right against your heels or very close to it. No big deal if they don't touch. And then like your arms are bookends, we're going to bend at the elbows. Hands kind of lifted over the belly. Bridge pose, press your feet, shoulders, head down, and lift your belly up into that space between your hands. So in using the arms this way, we can really press the upper arm bones into the ground to give a little more lift, strengthen the upper body. Lots of big breath in the belly here. Kind of watch it rise and fall with your gaze. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze the hamstrings strong to extend through the front of the thighs, the hip flexor. And if you want to change the hands, they can go down underneath you. Roll the shoulders up and in a little bit more. Still here in bridge pose. Press down through your big toes and your outer heels. And then release the hands and lower the hips back down. Widen the feet a little bit more, so about mat distance apart, and little windshield wipers of your knees side to side. So I have my feet as wide as the yoga mat, and then just dropping the knees from side to side here. And then heel toe the feet back to outer hip distance. Should be a little more narrow than what you just had. And let's try bridge pose like second time. Do the nice like bookends of the hands, lift up. Everything that's touching the mat, you really want to drive it down. So push through the feet, push through upper arms, the shoulders, the back of the head. Make sure the neck is not on the ground. That's why we use shoulders and head down to keep that curl of the neck, cervical spine lifted off of the mat. Again, maybe changing the arms. And then release the arms, lower the hips. Pull the knees now into the chest and out towards either side. So it's kind of like feet fall in together, but the knees are wider towards the armpits. And then can you squeeze the knees all the way together and pull in towards the chest again. And set the soles of the feet back down to the mat. So one more look at bridge pose. Press down through feet, shoulders, head. Set the arms like those bookends so you can use upper arm bones as well. That fourth place to set the weight. Keep the hands as is, or this time, lock your thumbs at your sacrum. So your hands are kind of holding along the upper ridge of the hip. And this is a big stretch in the wrist as well, you should find. So if that's too much, don't do it. Should support enough to make this a little easier. Lift one knee up into the chest. Straighten the leg. Back in and down. Again, if the hands aren't working like this for you, they can stay in your typical bridge arms. Try the second leg. I have to lift the heels off the ground to give a little space to release the arms then, the hands, and lower the hips back down. And take the arms all the way out to the T and drop both knees over to the right side and just stay there for a moment. And then to move to the other side, if you take and swing the knees really close into the chest, it'll be a little more easeful in the transition. And then set the knees over to the left side. Bring back both knees into the middle. Hug around your shins, squeeze in. Rock yourself up to a seat and extend both legs straight out in front of you. Flex the feet. Push heels, calves, thighs, butt down onto the mat. Toes straight up. Lift both arms to the sky. And then fold over the legs. Dandasana into Paschimottanasana. Hold on to your feet or the ground. Let your upper body just drape over. Bend behind the knees if you find too much tension in low back or tightness in hamstrings there. This is meant to be a nice release and counter pose from the bridge poses, from the back bends. So again, as is the intention of the class, don't overdo it today. Just find your fold. As you come back up, I'm then gonna just kind of lean back and flip over onto the belly. I wanna end with two more yen-like poses. Take your feet as wide as your yoga mat. So my legs are not together, they're apart. And then you're set on the forearms here. And an active yoga practice, when we do this, I have my feet together and I'm very actively pressing the forearms down for Sphinx pose to try to pull the chest and belly through. That is not this today. Today we want like gravity to take hold. Relax the muscles as much as possible. You've just kind of set up the picture. And then you let it be there. So in the practice of yin yoga, you set the picture of the pose. You say, relax muscles, relax. And you stay there for a little bit. Often holding for several minutes. We'll just do this for about 1 minute though. And then from here, we're going to change to what I call puppy pose. Come up to all fours. And then from all fours, take the hands, several handprints more forward, like 2, maybe even 3. So that the wrists are pretty far beyond the line of the shoulders. And then we're going to keep our butt, or our tail in the air, if you will. And try to set your forehead down to the mat. The forearms can come back down. Now, if you have a little more range of motion, this pose feels nice to you. Some folks go like chin to the mat instead of forehead to the mat, almost laying your upper chest to the mat. If you tend to have a lot of range of motion in the spine, feel free. For me, it's always forehead. Open the mouth, let a few exhale breaths out through the mouth. Remember at the beginning, we rocked the forehead kind of side to side, massaging from one temple over to the next. You could do that here as well. And then when you've had enough, come back forward and do belly down Shavasana today. So we take the hands back, pillow for the forehead, belly down Shavasana. Of course, if this doesn't suit you, if you'd rather flip over, sit up, find a different still position for the last 2 minutes, that's fine. Please feel free to stay here longer as suits you. When ready, find your way back to a good seat. I often push back to child's pose first from that belly down position and then build up. Draw the palms together, thumbs to the sternum. In this way of honoring yourself, each other. Deep gratitude for the practice. Bow in. Thank you. Namaste.